Hi everyone, this is Gayle. For those of you that attended the CRAFTOBER event, I mentioned then about, Richard was talking about making these, the nutcrackers into earrings. So first I thought I'd divide this up into sections, and this is going to be how to color your file. If you don't want to do it by hand, you can do it online. Now, what I do, and you're going to really have a fit when you see this, this is my 88 and clear file, which is where I save all of my 88 and clear digis. And this is all, well, over here, you can see all of this are my 88 and clear files. Now, you can see that I am one of those that just has to have everything. So I'm going to go down. I saved my Nutty Pum down here. I'm going to go down to Nutty Pum and double click that. Now I have colored these already. I'm not going to go I will show you how to do it at the beginning. There's the Nutty Pum, and this is the JPG. But what it has to be a JPG file or a picture, image file, not an SVG, not a PDF. It's got to be preferably a JPG. So I'm going to right click on that and then go open with. I'm going to come over here to Paint 3D. And there's your file. Now I'm going to make this bigger just so that you can see better. And I'm going to get it a little bit closer. The first thing you need to do is check for spaces. And when I say that, let me just work with the middle one because I think that's got the least amount of spaces. Let me make it bigger. See these spaces in here? Along in there, there's open spaces. If I do a fill and want to do his hat in, say, blue, and I'm just going to OK, and click here, see how everything turns blue except these few little things that are not? It's because those spaces, it cannot read that you just want this area. So let me undo that. So in order to fix that, you need to come over and pick something like a marker. And this is set at 5 pixels, which is probably about the right size. I'm going to make it black. And I'm going to make this really big so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to come down and I'm going to very slowly, and see that's kind of weird looking, so I'm going to undo it. I'm going to come down again and try to keep it as straight as I can. A little bit of wobbling isn't going to matter because your picture is going to be blown up. Now, even down here, see this little teeny tiny space? Again, if I click blue, the bucket means fill, and click that, it still does it because it's coming. See, there's a little space right there. It's still coming outside. So let's go back to the marker. The hardest thing to remember is to remember to keep changing your marker size and your color. So I'm just going to close this little gap. And I'm going to close this little gap. And you just have to do this anywhere where, see, like here, it doesn't match. It doesn't close. So you would want to close that. Any little place. Let me change this to brown just to see what happens here. See if, whoops, I have to change the fill. See, that's one of the hardest things to remember. See that there's enough little gaps in there, and you have to get really big to see those little gaps. So again, you've got to come back to the marker and to black and close in all these little spaces. Now, if I come back over here to the fill, and I'm going to put brown, and click there, see, it just fills in that little area. Now, it's up to you whether you want to do these little teeny tiny spots, but trust me, let me go back down. See, when you get low, small, you're not even going to see that little dot, so don't worry about it. But you need to go through your entire file and make sure that there's all the little gaps are closed. Let me move this over. Oops, too much. Gonna have to come down just one smidgen. And just look at everything. See, there's a little gap right there, so you're not going to be able to do his cheeks a different color. So just close that little gap, close this little gap. You just need to kind of redo it. So Richard, if you're watching this, try to close in your gaps for us digi people. Okay, that looks okay. That looks okay. So let's go down a little bit. His mouth looks all right. Here we need to attach his little beard or the nutcracker part. And just close in all these where there's any gap. So you've got to close up here. And with it small like this, you might have to go back and forth a couple times to make it the thickness you want. But just close up all your gaps. Now I'm going to pause while I'm doing this, if I can find the pause button. It disappeared on me. Okay, so I won't pause. I will try to trim this or fast forward so you can see all the different things, until I'm finished. Okay, it looks I've got this one all finished. And I am going to stop this and come back after I've done this to all three. So I will be right back. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did this video a couple of weeks ago, but my laptop crashed and I had to get a new laptop. And I just found the file that I did last week. So all I did was finish up just one of these nutcrackers. So let me just show you how I colored it. I don't know what color I did with this guy. I'll have to look and see. But anyway, I'm going to go back to fill, because now I think I filled in everything. I'll find out if I didn't. But then I'm going to let's do red. And I'm going to do this red. And I'm going to go down, and I think I will do this part red, this part red. And this is the bottom part of his jacket, so make sure you do that. And then let's do gold. So I'm going to do gold on his shoulders. And gold in these little things here. I'm even going to let me see how that looks if I do nope, can't do that. I was trying to get the lines done, but it's going to do all of them. So just make sure make it larger if you have to, but make sure the little crosshairs are inside the white area. And start filling in where the colors that you want. And let's go back up here and make that gold and this gold. And let's give him gold buttons. Now, since these are enclosed, you can do this if you would rather have real gold, you know, in everything. But I'm going to just leave the little black circles around it. I'm going to give him a black belt. Okay, and I'm going to use the gold for his buckle. And I probably will use gold on his cuffs. And I'm going to do just the opposite down here on his pants. I'm going to give him gold pants. And maybe make his bows gold. Actually, I might do that. Make the white gold and the lines, as long as the lines are separated. But you know, if I tried to do like this line, all the lines would turn gold because it's all connected, and that's not what we want to do. And I'm going to make these gold. Then I'm going to make his boots black. And come down, I'll make the toe black also. May as well have a match. And let's see, I probably ought to go back to gold and make, maybe I'll make that blue. What did I do, the color on his hat? Red and gold. I need to add a different color. Let's add blue. And I'll make this part of his jacket blue. Now, some of these colors, and let me go ahead and do the brown. I'm going to pick brown and do his hair brown. And I'm going to do his beard brown. And I think that's all that's going to be brown. I'm just going to pick the colors that are already done. There's rose. Let me see how. Oh, I'll go ahead and use that. I was looking for pink, but I was going to make his nose pink, but that's good enough. So the only thing that's left is his hands and his face. And you look over here, there's really not a color that I want either one of them, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the brown. Then I'm going to click up here on the brown, and it brings up this little thing. And where this square is where it's picking up the color. So let's go up towards the lighter colors. And that looks good. And I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to color that beigey color and his hands. Now let me go back up here and go back to the select button so I don't do any painting or anything. And I'm going to move it down, and I will do the same thing for all three. Now let me show you the one that I've done. Let me go back in here. It's this one, I believe. Nope, it's this one. This is my picture of, let me see if I can make it bigger, of all three where I colored it. See, I had this as green and gold, and I had a red on his hat and red on his belt. This one is different colors. You can do whatever you want, but you can see these are all the colors that I did. So now your three nutcrackers are colored. So come back for volume 2 or part 2, which will be how to actually get these into Inkscape so you can reduce the size for your earrings. So hope you like this. Come back for the next one.